Well, let's turn to the big focus story at this hour. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's visit to Kamareddy district in Telangana earlier this morning turned a nightmare as Congress workers, including members of Youth Congress, tried to obstruct Sitharaman's convoy and clashed with BJP workers and police personnel who tried to stop them. The convoy was stopped at Ambedkar Statue Crossroads in Kamareddy district. The police who were escorting the finance minister's convoy had to intervene and disperse the protesters. After completing her visit in Zahirabad, the minister was proceeding to Banswara when the activists tried to stop her convoy. The BJP supporters who were following the convoy also picked up a heated argument with the protesters. Police intervened, pacified the irate mob, as well as the BJP supporters. Now, what is important is this is not the first time that a minister or a political leader's convoy has faced this kind of violence. Let's just show you with the help of graphics the number of such convoy attacks that has happened. January 2022, Prime Minister Modi's convoy came under attack where the protesters blocked PM's convoy in Firozpur district of Punjab, forcing the PM, in fact, to spend about 15 to 20 minutes on a flyover, and also had to cancel his event for the day, which was the first rally in pole-bound Punjab. Let's look at the other instances. April 2021. This is when Bharatiya Kisan Union leader Rakesh Tikayat's convoy was attacked in Rajasthan's Alwar district, where he was going to address a farmers' rally in Bansur town. A group of people pelted stones at the cavalcade, damaging the vehicle. December 2020, BJP National President JP Nadda's motorcade was attacked with stones and sticks, allegedly by Trinamool Congress supporters outside Kolkata. Several cars in the convoy, which was headed for Diamond Harbour, which happens to be Abhishek Banerjee's constituency, were damaged. Earlier again in August 2017, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi's, the then Vice President of course, Rahul Gandhi's car was pelted with stones during his visit to the flood-affected Dhanera region in Gujarat. He managed to escape unhurt. So what happened today is reminiscent of these instances that we have seen earlier. Let's go across to Samit, who will tell us what exactly took place on ground where BJP and Congress workers clashed in the middle of the road in Telangana, where the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was visiting. Is Samit with us? I want to go across to Samit first to get an update on what happened so that our viewers understand the sequence of events. Samit, can you tell us what really took place? What was the provocation? Why were the Congress workers gathered there? And what was the kind of violence that took place?
Well, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is on a 3-day-long Parliament Pravas program, actually, which was, decided very much earlier. And she was here since yesterday, and attending several programs and, meeting several BJP leaders, local BJP leaders, also public. Even yesterday, she has it out at the state. And, today, while she was, proceeding towards ration shop, actually, in the Kamareddy district, at that time, few people standing, alongside with the road, main road, all of a sudden they have, took out the Congress flags, and actually they were Youth Congress leaders, and they have showing these Youth Congress flags. They have tried to, hold the convoy, Nirmala Sitharaman's convoy, and also the BJP leaders, the followers who were following the convoy. They have immediately, they have also, showing the flags, raised slogans, and tried to confront these protesters. But the police deployed at the spot have took these protesters into the custody and shifted to the local police station, and also dispersed the crowd there, and allowed the convoy to immediately pass from that main road.
Okay, so it was major chaos. Quite a bit of commotion there, which we can see in our visuals as well. Somit, thanks very much for giving us the details. Let me introduce, joining us here on the program, Mr. Mohan Krishna, spokesperson of the BJP, and Neeraj Mishra, spokesperson of the Congress party. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me here. Neeraj Mishra, first coming to you, this kind of a volatile situation that was created by Congress workers, isn't it completely unwarranted, especially when there's a lady minister in the convoy? Was this a deliberate targeting of Nirmala Sitharaman's convoy?
First of all, this has nothing to do with the gender issue. If the finance minister would have been a male also, and if the people of that region wanted to put across their point to the minister, it would have been happened in the same way. First of all, Why has this happened? We need to understand that the finance minister, as she has been telling that she's made of a different stuff. So the people in Kamareddy district wanted to tell her that we are made of the simple stuff, which is the fabric of India, and which is under the disguise of having a booming economy. But we all know that the smoke screen which has been put across the economy is just hindering everything. Last time I checked, the gas prices were 1,053 rupees in Delhi. Fuel prices were above 100 rupees, both for petrol and diesel, and other commodities which are essential for living. Everything has gone up. The government
issues can be raised with the finance minister by gheraoing her convoy. Do you really believe that by destabilizing law and order, issues should be addressed with the finance minister in this manner?
Madam, what happens is the government does not allow any member of the opposition to speak inside the parliament. Then what happens is the people who are actually affected by all these discriminating policies of the government, they have to come on road. And then again, I'm specifying this has nothing to do with gender. It is a way of protest, which is the beauty of this democracy. This has been happening throughout decades. This is not the first time.
Mr. Neeraj Mishra, that when something of this nature happens, as it is in this country, when there is VIP movement, everybody else has to make way. There is huge disruption to the common man's life. On top of it, you have the Congress workers landing up on the streets and creating a chaos. This also creates a sense of turmoil, a sense of unrest. Why would you support, why would you endorse something of this nature? Because then what will happen is next time you cannot take the moral high ground if Rahul Gandhi's convoy faces a similar situation, which he did, in fact, in Gujarat.
Yeah, in your visual, it was clearly stated in 2017 that happened.
Yes.
And prior to that also, when Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was visiting JNU, he was black flag. So this is part of democracy.
Okay, so you're saying this is a culture of this country and there is no stopping it.
I'm telling you,
yes.
I'm telling you, if the government allows a discussion in the parliament, all these issues will be tabled there.
Please, when the Congress was in power, it was the same thing. The BJP used to say that opposition is not being allowed to speak. Does that mean you will perpetuate this kind of an irate behavior on a minister's convoy? Let me have Mr. Mohan Krishna respond.
You have seen Sushma Swaraj protesting in Delhi with cylinders. Were they not following the same pattern? This is the part of democracy. If someone is suffering, he'll come out on the road and tell the government that you are doing this wrong. Otherwise, the government should give...
As far as I know, peaceful protest in a dedicated area is allowed. This kind of creating a law and order disturbance is not something that can be acceptable, especially if it affects public order, if it affects a motorable road, if it affects transport and communication, certainly not, is what I understand. But let me have Mr. Mohan Krishna respond.
I tell you, it was not only NSUI workers, it was the local people who were actually willing to talk to the finance minister. But because she is made of a different stuff, she did not pay any heed to whatever the problems were.
Okay, Mr. Mohan Krishna, the point that is being made is that you do not have a government that listens to the opposition. The parliament is adjourned time and again. There are no fruitful, constructive discussions that happen. The opposition leaders are suspended. What is the option that people have? People are angry. They are bound to question the leaders that are in power. Mr. Krishna.
Afrida, I heard Neeraj Mishra very patiently. This reminds me of a quote, Yatha Raja Tata Praja. Their boss, their Vice President, Rahul Gandhi says, come what may come, we will protest. That is the slogan he has given to the Congress people. Congress today is nowhere in the country. They are vanishing. Their leaders are quitting day by day, and they have no place for vote in the minds of the voters or in the hearts of the voters. Coming back to this issue, you have seen B.V. Srinivas, the Youth Congress leader, how he was behaving during that ED raid protest. Afrida, can you draw any kind of encouragement for the people that is this the way to protest? And coming back to the point in the parliament issue, in the parliament, the time was given for them to discuss about the price rise issue. Why they did not discuss well? Why Rahul Gandhi vanished there? Why Congress people vanished there? They want to create a chaos in the country. They want to try. See, this is their strategy, and this is their strategy right from the beginning when they have come to the power in the country from 1947 onwards. They are still feeling that they have brought the independence to this country. This is not Samstha Congress. This is INC that they should remember. And coming back to what he was saying, is this a way of protesting, Mr. Neeraj Mishra? You are defending this? You are stopping the convoy.
Mohan Krishna, the same happened with Rahul Gandhi as well. This is not one party's prerogative. From what I can see, every party has resorted to this kind of street fights, whether it is the Congress, the BJP, the TMC, every single party, to the effect that when you perpetuate this culture, what happens is, you had a case today where an MNS leader was seen slapping a woman. They have reduced themselves, they have, fallen to that level. This is the level of arrogance among the netas, and it seeps down to the ground level worker. If you encourage this behavior, sir, it really reflects on the cadre and their behavior, which is why we are witnessing these instances as well here in Maharashtra. What I'm trying to say is, please do not encourage this behavior where there are clashes on the road that affects public life. Quick response, I need to close the show. Quick response, Mr. Krishna.
I agree with you. This is not the way. We have also protested against the atrocities of the Congress, against the corruption issues. We have also protested in the parliament, and we have not unruly. There was no unruly behavior. Why they were suspended? Standing on the bench, standing in parliament. What they are trying to give a message to the country, Afrida. People are so upset. You can go and ask anybody in this country. And now, look at the mob. Look at the mob in Telangana. Nirmala Sitharaman, Finance Minister, she's working hard and she has given a good budget, so many budgets, and she's following up things in a very right manner. Today,
right. I take your point, and I would also say that it becomes the responsibility of the state government. Law and order is a state subject. It's entirely the responsibility of the state machinery to ensure security for the minister there in Telangana. I allowed both the speakers. I'm afraid, Mr. Mishra, I'm completely out of time. Thanks very much for joining us with your views.